end this kind of racism. According to my experience, I have a deep knowledge in web programming, so I would like to make a social media network. But the only thing the only problem I face is I don't have enough knowledge in other cultures, religions, and languages. So.
But what would you say if you want? So you answered these questions from your perspective,
yeah.
Putting them all in context.
Yeah.
What would you want to say if you had if this was guaranteed for you? What experience or thing would you want to say?
You want to have or to say?
You would want to, in general.
Yeah, the experience
could be related to you or the work?
Yeah, related to me. I would like to save an experience just for ending this problem, using my background knowledge, and I will try to expand my knowledge and the other things that I missed it. Just to solve the racism problem.
Yes.
The new things that just to exchange the knowledge and cultures around the world, just to understand that all of creature in the world deserves to live. That's
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think it's actually somebody wants to Thank you. Somebody else? As you can see, Abdullah was very passionate about this, and you could tell. All right? Yes?
Hi everybody, I'm Surbi, and I come from India, and what the major problem I see in India is the farmer suicides, and it is very prominent now because there are a lot of problems the farmers face, and they are predominantly very poor, so people don't support them as much. And one of the major problems which I've seen in India is, in some regions there is a lot of rainfall, and in some regions there's scarcity of water. So due to lack of water at some regions, farmers are not able to grow their cultivation properly, and in that way they come in so much debt that they ultimately end up in suicide. And the experience which I would like to save is, I did a small project about the water irrigation in the farm fields, and what I did a research on was how to save the water while irrigating the field. So I actually we in India the irrigation is mainly from the sprinklers deployed in the farms. So I did a project on how to adjust the angle of the sprinkler and automate the entire irrigation process, so that the lot of manual effort and the time which the farmer has to spend on irrigation would be reduced to a great extent. And what experience I would like to create is mainly what I faced doing all of this was lack of funds, because where I was doing this in the laboratory, the project was not funded, so I had to do everything myself. And this was tested in a very small village in India. However, the testing was a success, but it took a lot of money. And for doing this on a larger scale would require huge amount of sum, which either the government has to fund or someone from the public has to come together to support farmers and bring up technology for their advancement also. So it would be ultimately an economic growth along with farmers living a proper good life.
All right, thank you so much. Somebody else? Last person that wants to say something? Yes.
My name is Lara. And
Lara.
Lara.
Yes. I'm just repeating for everyone myself.
And if I could solve a problem, I would like to solve a source of problem, like hate and incomprehension. So I don't know what experience I could say, but I would like to invent a device to let people feeling how other people are feeling, in order to understand better why others do what they do, and to feel like they feel to gain more empathy and to experience a new point of view.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
So, somebody else that really wants to share? Yes. Okay, that's there you go. Yeah.
Hello everybody. Mine is very pragmatic. My answers are very pragmatic. But the problem is very clear, are earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
So,
It was just a very bad experience with earthquakes, right? Okay. So,
I imagine a forecasting. Like you watch the forecasting of the weather. I imagine something like that. Someone telling you, hey, tomorrow will happen an earthquake, and be prepared.
so people are prepared. So early warning system or some kind of a system so that at least people are prepared emotionally and they. And if you could create something, could be done. A response to.
The idea is to save life and experience, don't be afraid, don't be, I don't know, the panic behind that, avoid that, and avoid that, the reaction after that. Because I know about it. I'm living in Chile. In Chile, we experience earthquakes between 8.8 degrees.
It's a very unnerving experience, right?
So the effects after are very strange because you can understand the reaction of the people in situations like that after crisis. People want to buy everything. That's not needed. So it's very healthy.
And all of a sudden life, the way it is structured, loses its meaning, right? If it in front of, the risk of just disappearing. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you to all. So what we have just seen is actually one of the examples in answering these three questions. It's how entrepreneurs and people whom you have heard about, whom maybe you see as role models, you admire, the world-changing entrepreneurs, how they start their ventures, and what really drives them to start these ventures. I think you saw in all of the people who spoke, and I'm sure that if each one of you sits down seriously and thinks, you will be able to come up with this one problem that you are very passionate about. But the other thing that is very important is that we understand that it is a problem that we as entrepreneurs, or even as people who want to behave like entrepreneurs or have an attitude as entrepreneurs, need to explore, and it's the problem that they need to solve. And the other thing is that we actually, in that process of being entrepreneurial, we're actually creating something new that doesn't exist. It could be a modification. We will talk about innovations and inventions and how it is, but it is something that we are building from scratch. So this is another element of being entrepreneurial. And also, we do this through actually also basing it on something that already exists, on using the skills of the expertise that we have. More or less, let's say in general, this is an approach that also Guy Kawasaki, maybe you have heard of him. He used to be an evangelist, he's a real entrepreneur in his behavior and thinking. He's proposing also to people who want to start their own initiatives, ventures, and businesses. Okay? So this was the prelude, emotional prelude. We start now with a few video lectures on technology entrepreneurship, and let's watch. It will be 4 videos that we will watch and discuss, and then we will do some other, assignments. Andrea, could you put?
Yes.
Entrepreneurship online module. In the first part, we will have an overview to entrepreneurship, technology, and industry. In the second part, we will talk about technology entrepreneur. Who are these people and what kind of people are they? In the third part, we discuss about risk and reward profile embedded in all entrepreneurial acts. In the fourth part, we discuss about the creative destruction and how technology affects our daily lives and renews whole economies. In the fifth part, we discuss about the key characteristics of technology-intensive business. And lastly, in the sixth part, we will have a look at the whole process from idea to business and market opportunity recognition.
Start the other now.
Hello, my name is Olli-Pekka Mutanen. I'm a researcher and lecturer of growth entrepreneurship at Aalto University, Helsinki, Finland. Today we discuss about technology entrepreneurship. Let's start with the overview. Entrepreneurs are people who aim to make a difference by identifying problems and providing commercialized solutions or innovations to them, to be exploited by a skillful individual or by a team of them. By acquiring the required knowledge and resources and starting an organization to address the needs of the society and the markets, entrepreneurs create value, new jobs, and revitalize the whole economy. These organizations are called firms, and they form fundamental structures of economy. The related process and phenomenon is called entrepreneurship, which can be seen as an ultimate engine of the economic growth and renewal in all modern societies. During the past century, the new firms established by entrepreneurs have been the major source of innovation, fostering productivity and creating new welfare. Majority of the disruptive innovations that have dramatically raised well-being and deeply impacted economies have come from innovating and skillful persons acting as entrepreneurs. Examples of such radical innovations are, for example, the combustion engine, the railroad, electrification, the telephone, the car, the airplane, and the computer, to mention only a few ones. Technology encompasses all new methods, processes, artifacts, tools, and devices that can be used in commercial and industrial use. New technologies form basis for technology firms where entrepreneurs create innovations by combining their technological know-how with business practices to create commercialized solutions called innovations. According to Balletti, technology entrepreneurship is a behavior that can be defined as an investment in a project that assembles and deploys specialized individuals and heterogeneous assets to create and capture value for the firm. What distinguishes technology entrepreneurship from other entrepreneurship types, such as social entrepreneurship, small business management, and self-employment, is the collaborative experimentation and production of new products, assets, and their attributes, which are intricately related to advances in scientific and technological knowledge and the firm's asset ownership rights. However, entrepreneurship is not an easy way to value creation and the related profits. According to the statistics, only about 1/3 of new firms still exist after their first 3 years. However, those firms that survive and start growing have accounted for virtually all net new job creation over the past 3 decades in the USA, where up to 27 million small businesses account for 60 to 80% of all jobs. According to a recent study by Paycheck, these small businesses produced even 30 times more patents than big companies. That is a good demonstration how new firms create jobs, stimulate growth, and renew the whole economy. Let's talk about next who and what kind of people entrepreneurs are. Life shows a very wide range of people who made it as entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs come from various backgrounds, in different points of their career, and in all ages. Let's have a look at this table consisting of the founders of well-known successful technology companies. The youngest person was just 19 years old, as the oldest one was 43 years old when they founded their companies. But there definitely are similarities in the way they think and approach things. Peter Drucker has said that the entrepreneur always searches for change, responds to it, and exploits it as an opportunity. Successful entrepreneurs search for a challenge to take on and find an unorthodox approach to solving it. They have a vision for what could be possible. They apply all their creativity and inspire people around to follow that vision in order to make it true. They are passionate about what they do, and they work tirelessly towards the goal of building something out of nothing. Stanford's Professor Tom Byers has stated that entrepreneurs are people who identify and pursue solutions among problems, possibilities among needs, and opportunities among challenges. The primary activity that entrepreneurs engage in is identifying and selecting opportunities that match their skills and interests. The research findings show that entrepreneurs have a higher level of alertness than others, which is mostly a learned skill. People who have a deeper knowledge of a certain area tend to be more alert to needs and opportunities in that particular area. Many people working in the industry get the insights and spot an opportunity which will lead to starting an own business. Once the opportunity is recognized, entrepreneurs mobilize financial, human, and physical resources to start and grow a company. Entrepreneurs enable and encourage like-minded team of people to achieve success. In general, to have fruitful success in their activities, entrepreneurs need certain capabilities. Firstly, they should demonstrate a combination of talent, genuine interest, and knowledge of the industry. They also need to be creative, achievement-oriented, self-efficient, and eager to commit to solving a problem with valuable potential returns. Since the window of opportunity is typically open only for a short period, technology entrepreneurs need to make decisions swiftly, decide on the right strategic actions, and seize the opportunity which will be turned into a purposeful company. Good entrepreneurs also have the ability to work in the conditions of risk and uncertainty, reducing it. They can also flexibly adapt to changing internal and external conditions and adjust their actions accordingly. Not all the business owners have a passion for their domain or see a profitable opportunity to be chosen as an entrepreneur. Here comes the distinction between an opportunity entrepreneur and necessity entrepreneur. A necessity entrepreneur is forced to become an entrepreneur to solve the problem of unemployment or poverty, as there does not exist any better option. Starting a company is not their first choice, and they have exhausted all the other options. On the contrary, an opportunity entrepreneur does not have any compelling requirements to become an entrepreneur, but many just decide to go after an identifiable business opportunity. Typical factors that push opportunity entrepreneurs are a need for achievement, self-realization, high degree of independence, and welfare considerations. The opportunity cost is typically much higher for opportunity entrepreneurs, as they have to give up their current job and take a remarkable risk in the pursuit of a profitable business opportunity. They usually seek to take advantage of an opportunity when the economic situation is good and unemployment rate is low. Those times it's not common to find many necessity entrepreneurs appearing, as they would prefer to be employed by someone else. risk and reward. Let's talk about the role of risk and reward in entrepreneurship. You might already have heard that there is a risk and reward profile in entrepreneurial acts. It means that when entrepreneurs try to reach higher returns, they naturally have to be prepared to carry also higher related risks. As most people are naturally risk averse, it's the responsibility of an entrepreneur to manage and reduce risks. If being successful, then she or he will be proportionally rewarded. When you start a new company, you face a number of different risks. The first risk emerges from the technology itself, if you have enough capabilities to develop your technology offering, and if you are really able to solve the identified technical challenge. Market risk means that there might not be enough customers willing to buy your product at the required price level, and if there even exists a real problem that you are trying to solve. Team-related risk realizes if you are not able to recruit and right people and build a successful team to implement your business case. And lastly, capital risk is about if you are able to acquire the required capital to fund your startup in all stages of the development. Let's assume your offering is a mobile application. In this case, market risk could be the highest one. Do people want or need your service? Are they prepared to pay for it? But technology and capital risk in this case could be lower if you have the right capabilities to build the application and you might not need much capital for getting it on the market, or you are able to acquire the required amount of capital. So entrepreneurship is not only about taking risk, but also about constantly managing and reducing it in all stages. You start with the riskiest area when you still can afford to fail, and then try to step-by-step reduce all the other identified risks by adjusting your business strategy and aligning your venture actions. For example, by raising money from investors, you reduce the capital risk, or by acquiring first customers who sign up to your application, you reduce the market risk. As the knowledge of the market and competition, internal processes and competencies improve, also the associated risks decline. To handle uncertainty, companies can constantly review challenges related to offering, brand and business model, and building venture in stages. This will give room to adjust your core competencies and strategies accordingly step by step. When dealing with risk, think about three possible scenarios: the most likely one, the best case, and the worst case. Then try to determine possible reward and loss, and the estimated probability associated with them. Also determine how much your team and your investors can afford to lose, considering investment and opportunity cost. In general, entrepreneurs and investors are looking for the return that significantly exceeds the risk. As Peter Drucker said, whenever you see a successful business, someone once made a courageous decision. As a summary, risk and reward typically come together. There will be failures and obstacles on your way. You might have to start all over again, but without taking risk, you will never get the reward. Failure is just a part of the search for the right business model, and trial and error form of experimentation works best for the entrepreneurs.
All right. So let's, by the way, this will be the only class where we will watch in class some of these lectures. So from next time, I will ask you to watch style to see that you get the feel of the lectures the way they are. So tell me, how would you describe a technology entrepreneur? Who is a technology entrepreneur? In your understanding, what did you get out of it? How would you describe an entrepreneur? Let's start with entrepreneur. Yes? Lara, right?
Lara.
Yes.
An entrepreneur is a courageous person. He is willing to achieve some goal, and is not afraid making changes.
All right.
And
So it's is somebody who is a risk taker.
yes,
All right. And
uh,
he is dedicated to has a goal.
he has a goal and he wants to achieve it, or he must achieve it since it's necessary or opportunity. And
All right.
it's
Good.
creative.
It's creative.
And in I don't know the word in English.
Constructive. Creative.
Yes.
All right. There was a point about creative destruction. Who said it? Somebody. They were quoting that there was a person who is the founder of the theory of creative destruction.
I think it is in the next video.
Yeah, it should be the next one.
Yeah, we didn't. Ah, so you watched it, huh? Who watched the videos? You? All right. So who is the creative destruction person?
I don't remember the name, but he said that for there to be a new innovation, new technologies, there had to be the destruction of the previous one. So you had to build up from what you destroyed.
Okay. All right. Good. It's Schumpeter, and you will learn about it. He's actually the founder, considered the founder of entrepreneurship in European understanding and also the creative destruction theory. Okay. Other qualities of an entrepreneur?
They tolerate the frustration.
Sorry?
They tolerate the frustration.
Tolerate the frustration of they learn how to manage failure. Okay, it's usually you have to not to be afraid of failure. Yes?
Be proactive.
Be proactive.
Yes.
So usually people who are entrepreneurial actually show behavior that they do not
You shouldn't be
wait. They actually try to do something about it. Yeah. Before. Yes.
Who is an entrepreneur should have a plan of what you want to do, but you also have a second plan in order if someone goes wrong. And you should have also a plan for the best, for the worst case scenario, because you also have to save his life.
Like to be also persistent in pursuing the goals, yeah, and being flexible and coming up with scenarios. Okay, yes.
He's self-motivated person.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Because motivation is the key of success, according to be entrepreneur.
Okay, thank you. Very good. Somebody else? Yes.
Someone who is able to identify opportunities.
Someone who is able to identify
opportunities.
the opportunity. All right. And would you say that entrepreneurs can be entrepreneurs only in the technological sector, or they can be in any other? What distinguishes them from the ones that are, let's say, in technology and in a restaurant?
That the opportunity window is shorter in technology usually.
Yes, very good point. Yeah, why?
Because it's quite easy that someone else have a similar idea, or maybe the technology advance could make your idea obsolete in no time, so you need to get the moment.
So what is the opportunity cost?
It's really high.
It's very high. Yeah. All right. Somebody else? Okay. Can you give me some examples based on what you saw of, role models of entrepreneurs? When could they be considered good entrepreneurs?
Young
Yes?
people.
Sorry?
They have to be young people because.
You think they have to be young people?
Yeah, because they have the enough power to
They have to be resilient.
Yeah.
You don't think your grandma can be an entrepreneur?
She needs help.
She will need help?
Yeah.
But do you think she is not actually she couldn't be equally good as an entrepreneur?
She will, but as I told, the entrepreneur should have enough power to continue or grow up with his business or with his idea. So it needs let's say youth age.
You believe that they need to be at young age because of this, because you're actually seeing more opportunities for people who are equipped with the current technological skills, IT skills to do the innovation.
Yeah.
All right.
And creativity.
And creative. All right. This was what you wanted to add. All right. Yes. So grandpa or grandma could be entrepreneurs or not?
No. For me, no.
For you, no.
No.
All right. Somebody else? Yes.
I disagree because I think that well, maybe not grandpa or grandma, but for example, my parents, they could be because they have experience. So experience is also very important. Maybe they will not come up with some great innovative idea, but the business is not meant to be only something new. It could be something old, but made in a new way.
Yeah. So you think parents, but not grandparents?
Yeah, maybe it's only because of the health issues. So yes, they don't have enough energy to support. But if they're in a good health, why not?
Why not? Okay. Yes.
For me, it is out of scope. We said that okay, we prefer young people for a reason, not that parents are able to do something. So
it is because we're talking about technology entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
This is why, okay, you believe it's more relevant for them.
I would like to say something.
Yes.
Which is the old people can give advices.
All right.
So
could they be entrepreneurs?
They could be advisors.
They could be, but they couldn't be entrepreneurs.
I believe because look, the disadvantage of being an expert is you sometimes you will be scared of being new things because you are not an expert of the area that you are going
It's
to
mostly it's not that they couldn't be, but maybe it's mostly the way I understand you want to phrase it is mostly because they are lacking some skills at the moment that would allow them to take advantage of an opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me,
so
are we talking
yes.
about just technology or?
I was talking about entrepreneurs and trying to, in general.
In general.
You had a point.
I was saying, I agree with Anna.
With Anna?
You had a point?
Yes.
I want to say something.
Yes,
because
yes.
even if older person is not to make a successful thing, can be an innovative thing from my point of view. Because even solve a small problem that he has at home can be an innovative way of solving that problem.
All right. Thank you. You wanted to say yes?
As you just said, you must be able to take risks. So when you have a certain age, you must think that you have to recover from those risks. So maybe you're not so encouraged as a young guy that can take risks and try to fail and then recover.
All right. So maybe somebody else wants to share?
I want to say something.
Yes.
I want to tell you something very short. In my country, the people would get retired from their job after working for 30 years. Okay, my maternal uncle, he got retired from his job, and after retirement, he started a new company when he was like 55. And now he is 78 or so, and he is one of the most successful people in my country, and he is kind of a billionaire. He has 3 houses.
Good for him, huh?
Yeah.
He's the age of grandpa.
He's the age of grandpa.
He's the age of grandpa.
And he never
gave up.
At that age, he started the company.
Yes, of course.
So it's not like that they need help or they just can give advice. No, they can act. And they can be successful.
All right, so we will now see, because we've been watching, and it happened by chance. I forgot that there was one more lecture, but we will see the reasons. You know, it's not all determined by competencies and experience and some qualities, and we are actually taken to the question of, are entrepreneurs born or are they made? And there is a big discussion around this topic. And so let's just watch the last video. Yes?
Can I ask one question? Why do we have to watch videos? I know it's a stupid question, but I don't get this system. I mean,
because we didn't send to you the link to watch the video before the class.
Yes, you will watch
because
the video.
Not all the people here have the access to the platform yet.
Yes,
so.
it was only because of these reasons. So for next time, you will watch it at home, and we will have the discussion here at the end. Okay.
It's a little boring watching the video in class, but at this time.
Yes, but I am actually, it serves another purpose, is to see the capacity, the absorptive capacity of you all, of these videos, and we can have a discussion on what actually this blended learning means in terms of education and learning. Because I'm also making some conclusions to myself as to how it needs to be presented. All right.
Okay.
How technology affects drastically our daily lives and the whole economy in many different ways. Entrepreneurial activity is driven by people who use their skills and have their motivation to exploit opportunities. The result of this is new firms' creation and inevitable destruction of declining ones. In 1942, economist Joseph Schumpeter described this process as the gale of creative destruction, which sweeps away partly or fully outdated offerings by creating new superior ones. By that, creative destruction constantly changes and revolutionizes the economic structure, which leads in the long term to economic growth. Examples of creative destruction can be found in different industries. The music industry has witnessed a drastic decline in CD sales with arrival of free services for downloading music or services just as iTunes.
Role here of technological innovations and entrepreneurs technology entrepreneurs that change actually the rules of the game. Yes?
Facebook.
Facebook. What did you do? In your
opinion? In my opinion, the social media started with Facebook, and using Facebook, we made the whole world as a small village, because I can contact you.
But what do you think? What do you think they did that nobody else did?
They made a free communication way. Instead of, let us say, cell phones or text message or emailing, I can send you just a message from Facebook chat.
What was the problem? Do you know how it started?
But MySpace was there before Facebook.
Before, yeah. Yes?
Doing the same thing.
So there was MySpace before that. Could someone else share? What do you think? What kind of a problem was he trying to solve? Facebook. We will have a battle on Facebook, and you will, yes?
Facebook was not related to the University of
Zuckerberg. Harvard. Yeah, he was in Harvard.
Well,
yes.
I'm not sure because I'm not, I don't know exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it should, Facebook should be born
yes.
as a method to communicate between students,
exactly.
but also to classify more or less.
Yeah.
So to customize, the reason why I asked is because if you now think of Facebook completely differently than what it actually originated as a company. You know, it was something else. And we will have this discussion. I'm just curious to hear some opinions. But in general, first, it was not responding to that dramatic problem in our society, but it was trying to solve a bit of a problem related to what? Can you?
I think that Facebook, as we know it right now, created itself the problem and solved it itself. It
Yeah,
created
that
the
could
need
be.
of being in contact with other people with different media, as text or videos, but there wasn't really a need. And if I remember correctly, Zuckerberg created Facebook just to rate girls on the campus.
Well, more or less known. Okay, you will know the story, but it was actually created working on a project trying to form a club type of structure within, Harvard, and so they were trying to exclude certain community for people to get to know each other, because they were spending a lot of time, working on computers. So there is that element also of the need for people wanting to communicate and not being able to communicate. And somehow this has gone out of that, narrower niche, and it still has become actually a player in communication. But now, because it's gone, viral in a way, as they say, with technology, it poses the other issues. So it's created completely, as you said, a new industry on its own. So that is as a technology entrepreneur and innovation, it's one example, okay? Just with opening new markets, with what was another element with innovations and entrepreneurship? In what other way? Creating a new product?
A new way to advertise the use.
Yeah, I'm just asking for another example.
Market changes.
Sorry?
Market changes.
Market changes. As a result of a market change, can you think of a example?
The music industry.
The music industry. So, how?
First, there was compactist and pianists, and with the creation of sites download free music, no one went to the shop to buy the compact disc, and there was a decline of the sale of these products. So
Yeah.
they need to digitalize the songs.
Yeah, and so it was destructive innovation because it completely threw out of the market, made useless, the